It's so fascinated by the boy, that's why. So, he wants to be a guardian. It's a father and a mother professional to be a guardian.
So hard for something that brings us happiness. Pretend to look outside ourselves and forget what we have within. We put our hands together to find peace in our day. Present moment is all we have. Don't let it slip away. If we close our eyes, remember all that we have. Our hearts will feel a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by all the hatred and pain. If we can look past our differences, there's so much we can gain. If we open our eyes to see the beauty inside, our hearts will feel a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Good morning. Good morning. And I'm Sharon, and I'll be your MC for this morning. We'd like to welcome Dana, and she's on Washington, and you're going to be a transplant tomorrow. Okay. And,
I like the plant part.
And welcome home, Jean. Nice to have you back. Okay. Do we have any other visitors? We have several in the back there. Sitting back there. They're very quiet, and they're very attentive. You know, they sit right there and they're all smiling. Let us begin the service by singing the Vandana Tisarana together in both Pali and English. The music and words will be shown on the screen. Please rise if you're able.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Amen to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddha Saranam Gacchami, Dharma Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo.
Please be seated. Today we will chant the Sutra Jusei, the verses reaffirming the vows, which will be found on the screen, or if you have your service book, page 55 to 59. This will be followed by quiet sitting.
Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
We'll now have offering of incense and offertory. The offering of incense is an ancient rite of purification and a practice of making an offering in gratitude for this moment of this day, of this unrepeatable life. Everyone is welcome to offer incense at this time. Mahalo, thank you. Let us all recite the golden chain of love together. Okay, let's begin. I am a lady
In the middle of this golden chain of love that stretches around the world, I must keep my lane bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends on only my happiness or unhappiness. be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida. Namo.
And now it's children's Dharma story time.
Live from Makawao, it's Children's Dharma Story Time, starring Barkley the dog and Lucy the ladybug. Bee-hi! Good morning, aloha, kakayaka, how gozaimasu. It's me, Barkley the dog, the rascal dog. Mahalo for joining us here in historic Makawao town on the beautiful island of Maui in the great state of Hawaii. Good morning, aloha kako, aloha for everyone. I'm so happy to see you all this morning. Barkley, let's put on our magic glasses from Maui Optics. See who's with us here this morning. Hey, that's a great idea, Lucy. Let's see. I can see Wesley and Sierra and Lindsay and Kenneth. And let's see, Elias and Emmy and Kalena and Tyrus and Tori and Benji and Lena and Kava and Kai and Emmy and Micah and Nolan and Cora and Lynn and Loy and Meliana and Melody and Cadence and Honolulu and Madison and Colorado and Sensei buddies around the world. Ooh, wait, mahalo, arigato, obrigado. Thank you for joining the fun today. We have a great story for you. Yes, that's right. That's right, Lucy. That's one of Sensei's favorite stories. Today's story is The Sour Grape by Jory John and Pete Oswald. The Sour Grape by Jory John and Pete Oswald. I'm a grape, a sour grape. Grrr. If somebody upsets me, I'll remember it. If somebody wrongs me, I won't forget. If somebody insults me, I'll never ignore it. Nope. See that banana over there? That banana slipped and bumped into me, so I'm holding a grudge. See that orange? That orange didn't call me back for a week. Grudge. See that lime? That lime borrowed my scarf and never returned it. Grudge. I suppose I've got pretty thin skin for a grape. Nobody steps on this grape. Rrr. Granted, it wasn't always this way. I grew up in a close-knit bunch. There were about 3,000 of us in our little community. We were sweet to each other. You look nice today. So do you. No, you do. We all lived on a vine. Sure, it was claustrophobic, especially when we were trying to get ready in the morning. Are you done in there? Come on! But my family was ripe with humor, goodwill, and warmth. We did our best with what we had. Are you going to finish that? My grandparents visited on the weekends. We strolled in the sun, and they teach us what they knew. They said it takes a bunch to raise a seed. And they said that good grapes roll their own way in life. They told us to be kind, forgiving, considerate, and grateful. Or grapeful, my grandpa said with a wink. Above all, no matter what life throws at you, and there will be a lot, try to stay sweet, my grandma said. Indeed, we said in response. And for a while, I was the sweetest of the sweet. I said, please. I said, thank you. I brushed aside life's little annoyances. I knew how good I had it. Oops. Ha ha ha, no problem at all. But then, one day, something changed in me. It was my birthday. I had rigorously and vigorously planned a big party for weeks. I'd sent out invitations with a date prominently displayed. Get this, I had a Ferris wheel, a magician, and hay rides. I had snacks upon snacks upon snacks. And the highlight of the party, though, was a fireworks display that would happen at sundown. I stood out front and waited for folks to arrive. I had a gigantic smile on my face. I waited. Everybody was a little late, it seemed. No big deal, no big whoop. So I waited. A tumbleweed rolled by. A coyote howled in the distance. The sun sank behind the hills. And I waited. Nobody showed up. And I mean nobody. By the time the fireworks show started, with me as the sole spectator, I was scowling. I considered everybody I'd invited, and only one thought came to mind. Grudge, 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 grudge. After that, my personality became something else entirely. I went from a sweet grape to a bitter grape, to a snappy grape. Who moved my chair? Finally, I became a sour grape. I started holding minor grudges that eventually became major grudges. Why don't you watch where you're going? I scowled so much that my face got all squishy. You know what? Don't even bother calling me back. I took out my grumpiness out on others. Are you ever going to return my scarf? And that's how it's been, day after day, week after week, month after month, grudge after grudge. But something happened recently that changed my thinking. I was getting ready to meet up with my friend Lenny, the only fellow I know who's as sour as I am. Lenny and I usually go to the park where we sit on a bench and we rant about stuff. But just as I was heading out the door, I bumped my knee. Oof. After I bandaged myself up, I discovered I had a flat tire. And then I missed the bus, and the next bus was late. Finally, I got off at the wrong stop. Sheesh. By the time I arrived at the park, it was getting dark. Lenny was fuming and furious, with a frown and a furrowed forehead. His face looked all squishy. We agreed to meet at exactly 4 o'clock. You're 3 hours late. I tried to explain that why I was so tardy, but Lenny wouldn't listen. He'd already made up his mind. He'd formed a huge grudge, and he wouldn't budge. I couldn't believe it. How unfair, I thought. How ridiculous, I thought. How similar to the way I would react. Lenny was pretty worked up. He was pacing back and forth, emitting occasional grumbles. His tone was tart. So I gave him a little space. Besides, it was nice out. I noticed the sky changing colors, the melodic chirping of the birds, the evening breeze, the buzz of the park's insects coming alive at night. Suddenly, I felt grateful and peaceful and calm. Had I been missing all this simple beauty because I was too busy complaining? Meanwhile, old Lenny stormed off, muttering something about disrespect and lack of consideration. I'm pretty sure I heard him add a grrr, too. I walked home. I pulled out a dusty box from under my bed. There were old family photos inside. I spotted myself in one of the pictures. I was so sweet. I knew that little grape from the photo was still a big part of me, deep down. It would just take some work to get back there again. And that was the exact moment. I found the invitation I sent out for my infamous birthday party, the one where nobody showed up. It said May 31st. But wait a minute. minute here. My birthday was on May 21st. Alas, I told everyone to come on the wrong day. Oh, it was all my fault. I realized nobody's perfect, not even me. After that day, I started noticing other things too, like how remaining sour all the time is so draining. I'd wasted so much energy holding grudges when I could have easily cleared the air if I'd felt hurt. And yes, I still get upset from time to time, but that's okay. Because now I talk, and I listen, and I work things out instead of just walking away. My sourness is fading, I'm letting go of all my grudges, and hey, it's working. Slip-ups happen, I'm just glad you're okay. Oh, thanks. That scarf looks sublime on you. Why don't you keep it? Really? You're the best. Orange, you glad we got to catch up? I'm so grateful that we did. Sure, sometimes I still let out a little grrr when I crush it, like this. Grrr. But then I move on. My face is less squishy too. Oh, and don't worry, things are okay with Lenny again. Gosh, sorry I'm late. You must be furious. No big deal, my friend. You know what? If you look at things in the right sort of way, and if you remember to be kind and considerate, forgiving, and grateful, life can really be sweet. Yes, indeed. The end. And that was the story, The Sour Grape, by Jory John and Pete Oswald. Hey-ha! Wasn't that a great story? What part did you like? Really? I love that part too. I loved how the sour grape was sour all the time, you know what I mean? I mean, he, she, they were like sour all the time, kind of like me, Barkley the Rascal Dog. Except that I'm always a rascal, you know? The sour grape actually wasn't sour. It's not working. Stop that. Okay, the sour grape wasn't actually sour, but his or her, their feelings got hurt. And that made them sad and mad, you know what I mean? How about you, Lucy Ladybug, love of my life? What part y'all like? Mahalo for asking, Barkley. I loved how the sour grape remembered how he, she, they were once the sweetest of the sweet, and that helped him, her, them to let go of their grudges and go back to being sweet. Holding a grudge can become a habit because it feels good for a while, but life is no fun if you're sour all the time because nobody wants to be around you. Hey-how, that's right. You can be sad and mad, or you can be sweet. Or you can be a rascal like me. How about you, Sunset? Well, I think the sour grape learned something very profound. Everyone gets sad and mad. If you're born human, you're going to be sad or mad or both at some point in your life. But if you take it out on others, nobody wants to be around you. That's even sadder. That's right. Now, if I see my buddies being a sour grape or a grumpy grape or a funky grape, I know it's because they're sad, mad, or lonely. So maybe they just don't feel like having rascal fun, and I should zip the lips and open the ears, like Reverend Bert always says. Well, that's so sweet, Barkley. Sometimes the best thing we can do is just listen and try to remember that everybody gets sad, mad, or lonely, and we just have to be kind and gentle, like the golden chain of love. Lucy Ladybug, that was a superlative segue. Yeah, a terrific transition. Ooh, yeah, harmonious handover. Oh, you guys are rascals with literary pretensions. That's why I love you. Say, Lucy, let's give Sensei a chance to give the Dharma talk for adults now. What do you say? We sneak over to the social hall where the winter garage sale preparation is underway. I hear there are hidden treasures. Hey, Sensei, you hit the wrong button again. I hear there are hidden treasures in something. There, hang on. What do you say we go now? Oh, Barkley, you had me at garage sale. Woohoo! Remember, kids, Makawao Home Ganji garage sale is one day only, Saturday, December 3rd, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fade to black. And Mimi says, Sensei, you forgot something? Oh, that's right. Remember, kids, be good, but not too much. Okay. It usually goes something like that. So, I'm going to switch gears and go to the adult Dharma talk. So today we are observing Eitaikyo, which is the perpetual memorial service. And so the question obviously is, why do we have a perpetual memorial service? I'd like to begin with the quote from Shinran Shonin. When I consider deeply the vow of Amida, which arose from 5 kalpas of profound thought, I realize it was entirely for the sake of myself alone. Then how I am filled with gratitude for the primal vow, in which Amida resolved to save me, even though I am burdened with such heavy karma. The wisdom of Shinran Shonin. Namo Buddhas. So you can find this in the collected works of Shinran, where he's quoted the Lament of Divergences. So in the Honganji tradition, Eitaikyo is the annual observance of a special service. It's a memorial service that's dedicated to all of our honored ancestors, departed loved ones, dear friends, and loyal companions on this journey, that is this unrepeatable life. Eitaikyo in Japanese literally means perpetual sutra. And I know that when we're chanting in Japanese, it sounds like it goes on forever and ever and ever. But that's not really what it means. It refers to the Japanese custom of priests reading or chanting the sutra, the words of the Buddha, in services that are dedicated to the memory of individuals. So people we remember, people that we're indebted to, people who made a difference in our unrepeatable lives, as well as all of the honored ancestors who came before us, who we didn't know. So this attitude or mindfulness of our debt of gratitude to so many people who came before us can also be seen in the traditions of Shotsuki, the monthly memorial service where we read the names of the people who passed away during that month. You will see this as well as during the daily Eitaikyo chanting, so the priest would be chanting in the columbarium, reading the names of people who passed away on that day of that month. Or we can just remember the day the person passed away. So the 16th of every month is considered the Meinichi of Shinran Shonin, the founder of our tradition. Eitaikyo also refers to the Honganji tradition of making large donations, of making a donation to a special fund, which is kind of like a rainy day fund. That's to ensure the survival of a temple. It's a capital building fund. You put money in it, you don't touch it unless you really, really have to. And this is, again, to ensure the survival of the temple as a place for the Sangha, for the community to share the Dharma, the Buddha Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. The Eitaikyo fund is considered long-term, and it just basically kept for a rainy day. So in some traditions, negative consequences can arise if a priest, ordained priest, doesn't perform the appropriate rites and rituals in the prescribed sequence and timing. So if you don't do certain rituals at certain times, bachi can happen, something not nice might happen. As an ordained priest of the Honganji, I am trained to officiate special services, including memorial services, funerals. But as a credentialed teacher of the Honganji, I'm also very careful to disclose, to emphasize that the rites and rituals that I do as a priest have no magical powers. There's no supernatural powers, no ability to create good fortune. It's kind of disappointing, actually. So there's no magical powers associated with the rites and rituals that I officiate. But memorial services, so in other words, why do we do them? Why bother doing a memorial service if there's nothing magical that I'm doing? Memorial service can be an extraordinarily powerful tool or method for changing your perspective, changing your view of reality as it is, your outlook on this unrepeatable life. The power of memorial services and why we keep doing them is in the way that we're forced to remember people who have gone on before us. And then we reflect upon our debt of gratitude for their kindness, their consideration, the way they made us feel. So let's do a quick meditation together. So just relax and get comfortable and breathe slowly and deeply in and out. And close your eyes. And breathe in and breathe out. Now remember a person who was kind to you. Now reflect upon how their consideration made you feel. Breathe And breathe out. Now open your eyes. This feeling is still inside of you. So this meditation is intended as a simple demonstration of the wisdom of Maya Angelou, the great American poet, who is quoted as saying, "I've learned people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." The words of Maya Angelou, who lived from 1928 to 2014. So the Buddhist perspective on life is pretty straightforward. Right? All things, phenomena, living beings that arise from causes and conditions are impermanent and interdependent, always changing and evolving in the context of other beings, other things, and other phenomena in an interlinked and intertwined chain of causes and conditions. So born human, our ego self dominates our thoughts and words and actions. In other words, the way we make other people feel. So in this simple in meditation, you're asked to pick someone who is kind to you, who made you feel special, who made you feel part of something bigger than yourself. And as Buddhists, it's not enough to become aware of this feeling of gratitude. We must feel compelled to act, to express our gratitude, to do something to express our gratitude, whatever we can, as a way to begin repaying our debt of gratitude. So this idea of repaying our debt of gratitude is not really a familiar concept in American culture, but when we remember and reflect, we're naturally brought to feel gratitude, to feel appreciation, to be brought to the awakening that we're not worthy of such kindness, and yet it comes to us. And this is just the memory of one person that can reawaken you at your core. So imagine what would happen if you were to deliberately and consciously remember and reflect upon even, say, 10 people who were kind to you. 10 people who have gone forth to birth in the Pure Land before us, and who have come back in this moment of this day of an unrepeatable life, in a memory that reawakened this feeling of gratitude in your heart. And this feeling of gratitude in your heart can manifest itself in many ways. Kind eyes, gentle words, random acts of kindness to total strangers, a smile, a laugh, a sympathetic ear, a shoulder to cry on, a hand to hold in the cold of night. Suddenly, everyone around you seems happier, friendlier, and more cheerful. And the spirit of aloha embraces everyone and everything in that moment. So as Hongwanji Buddhists in Hawaii, we interpret this feeling of aloha for everyone, everywhere, all the time, as Namo Amida Butsu, the calling voice of Amida Buddha. Take refuge in Amida Buddha, as the infinite light and great compassion that is Amida's working to assure our birth in the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. And we say Namo Amida Butsu as an expression of gratitude when we truly realize that we are embraced by Amida's great compassion because we are utterly human, just ordinary fools bumbling through this unrepeatable life. And so the practice of Nembutsu comes to us just as we are. The practice of Nembutsu is a simple act of putting our hands together in Gassho, or Anjali in Sanskrit, and saying Namo Amida Butsu. So Namo, the left hand, this is me, my ego, my self-centered, egotistical, limited human being. The right hand, this is Amida, immeasurable light and life. Oops, sorry, the slide's wrong. And then put together, so Namo Amida Butsu is Buddha, the Japanese word for Buddha, the Buddha Dharma, and the Sangha. So Namo Amida Butsu. And then we bow our heads in gratitude. And we say, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Buddha, entrusting and all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion. In joyful gratitude for this moment of this day of this life. And just by doing this, it can and will change the way you look at things. So if you remember even one person today and reflect upon their continued influence on your unrepeatable life, you'll begin to awaken to the heart and mind of gratitude. So imagine what will happen if you took a moment to remember everyone who has influenced and continues to influence your unrepeatable life. And when you let the heart and mind of gratitude guide your thoughts and words and actions, you'll see the world change around you. Again, the words of Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. The wisdom of Maya Angelou. Namo Amidas. Mahalo for listening this morning, and may your day be filled with aloha.
Thank you, Reverend Carey, for your Dharma message. Let us chant the Metta Sutta, the Loving Kindness Sutra, together with Reverend Carey.
Okay, I hope I have the right piece of paper with me. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas.
Reverend Carey will now lead us in gratitude meditation.
So once again, let's sit quietly together for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Now sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Mahalo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
please rise, if you're able, and we will sing the Gatha at our altar. The words in which will be found, to which will be found on the screen, or if you have your Gatha book, pages 16 to 17. Right, so let's rise and we'll be singing loudly.
So if you go to the next slide, the music will come out here.
Huh?
The music should come out.
Okay, oh, next slide. Please remain standing for the Nembutsu.
When you receive a gift, receive it with your heart. When you receive the Dharma teachings, receive it with your body. The wisdom of Kaneko Daine, who lived from 1881 to 1976. Namo Buddhas.
Please be seated. Mahalo for joining our Dharma family service today. Our new friend, Dana. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Okay, announcements.
Okay. Next Saturday, don't miss the winter garage sale. And nobody gets to go home today. You'll have to help set up for the garage sale. So, it is coming. And that's why on December 4th, Sunday, there's no service because everyone's going to need to take a break. December 11th will be first Sunday, plus we'll be noting Bodhi Day, the Day of Enlightenment. Our guest speaker will be Frank I will be officiating service at Kaplui Honganji. And then December 18th, we'll have the last Dharma family service of the year. And then on Christmas Day, being good Buddhists in America, we will celebrate Christmas, or at least not have a service, meaning come into the temple on Christmas Day. Let's see, so 4 o'clock on December 31st, so New Year's Eve, we'll have a short service. We'll have the traditional ringing of the temple bell 108 times, and we'll be serving Toshikoshi Soba, so the crossing over the New Year noodles. On January 1st, New Year's Day, 9 o'clock, we'll be having the hangover service, New Year's Day service, and we'll be serving ozoni. So again, I hope if you're available, and if you're able to make it, please come to celebrate the passing of 2022 and welcome in the new year 2023. Columbarium is open every day, 8:30 to 5. Marilyn, did you have a... Sure.
Well, thank you for playing an English gata, because this was one of the favorite songs from, the children that used to come, I guess my children's generation that, came to church. And so that's wonderful to sing that today. And then the Reverend said something that I have to mention, because he said something about the 16th of the month.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because historically, I read in the newsletters that there was always an evening service on the 16th of the month for many, many years. That I think it might have been in Japanese originally, but that's the only service that people who worked on Sundays, like the farmers and people, but they came to an evening service on the 16th of the month for many years, and I think it went on until Reverend Soga's time. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Well, traditionally, we'd be singing the Shoshinge on the 16th of every month, and we'd be doing the fancy version, the Gyofu version of Shoshinge. So the back side, the back half is much more elaborate. So normally we should be singing the Shoshinge every day, and then on the 16th you do the fancy version, again to mark the death day of Shinoji. So, anybody else? Any messages or announcements? Anything you'd like to share? If not, I think the slide says something like, everyone's welcome to enjoy refreshments and talk story in the social hall. I'm sorry.
One more thing about the garage sale. We are having a country store, and Marilyn is in charge of the country store area, and we are asking everyone who can if they would like to bring baked goods for the country store. And if you do, then it would be nice to have it delivered by Friday of this week. And if you need help with labels or packaging, just let us know. Thank you.
We're having refreshments in the kitchen, is that right? Not the hall, there's no space.
I thought I'd sneak people in there to help out with sorting stuff. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Just play the closing. It's I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. But it's pretty funny. But it doesn't have like a
Either way.
When I graduated from seminary, it was but I'm like, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and then I went off to college. I actually got a 2-year job for an exchange program, so that was nice. And I just fell in love with I decided that she was going to marry somebody which and it just led to my career into 3 years. And I just decided, and I just right. And at which point I was kind of late for this. It is, yeah, I've been doing this before. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. 2 years ago. And then the whole song was okay. Yeah, that's must be cutting the background noise out or something. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Because it's restaurant, all the extra noise in the background. Maybe that's not good. So those are Italian engineers and he's got a wireless mic and goes into his phone and goes into his hearing. Yeah.
Figure out how to make it best.
That is so good. It filtered out all the background noise or something. Well, yeah, the plan is to replace the PA system stack and put in 2 speakers instead of 1, which was 50 years ago.
My goal is to finish.
And it doesn't want to talk to my digital system. Well, this is the thing. Particularly even for in-house services, we lose the slides. People are not used to it. It's
right.
I mean, even for getting older, like parents have fingers for what's actually going on.
Right.
But then becoming the computer goes and going forward, it becomes much easier to say, bring in a speaker, bring another pilot, something loud, it has its advantages. It's one thing that I don't want to that's right, Gary, you forgot. You turned yourself off. It's one of those things. Very good. Very nice to meet you. Always welcome.
I feel bad, but I brought refreshments.
No, yeah. I think that was stuff like
Yeah.
and he's real deep too. Yeah. That's like super, deep problems you could have. Yeah. You'd be very welcome to go to the kitchen. Just walk out door, turn left, and you'll see people outside the kitchen. I'm going to turn the cameras off and stuff. I will join you shortly.